It's a digital currency that could revolutionize the banking system as we know it. Unless you've been hiding under a rock these past months, you've definitely heard about it.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin
Ist in aller Munde vor.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Who created
Le Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? Me metí a internet.
2017 was without a doubt the year of the ubiquitous Bitcoin. The virtual currency requires no central bank, it's directly and anonymously traded from person to person, and you probably wish you'd invested in it a couple of years ago. In 2017, Bitcoin's value went through the roof as investors flocked to the highly volatile currency seeking to make a fortune. Long gone are the days when Bitcoin was a thing of geeks. The virtual currency has gone mainstream.
We've observed that Bitcoin is developing as a method of payment in emerging economies, while in industrialized countries, Europe, the US, Japan and China, it's used as a currency for investment and speculation because it's very volatile. It's going to be part of our future and have an impact on most sectors of the economy.
An impact on the economy and on the environment, an impact that's already being observed in the wake of Bitcoin's surge in popularity. Though it's a virtual currency, Bitcoin requires real energy and lots of it. Today, each Bitcoin transaction requires the same amount of electricity used to power at least 4 homes in the US for one day. Keep in mind these calculations are controversial. Some have weighed Bitcoin against more classic systems like Visa. As you can see, its yearly energy consumption towers over the popular payment tool. Bitcoin defenders criticize such calculations, saying they don't account for the hidden costs of Visa's energy use. Essentially, it's like comparing apples and oranges. What's certain is that as the price of Bitcoin increases, so does demand. Demand for the cryptocurrency and demand for energy. It begs the question, could Bitcoin be threatening our planet? To understand why the virtual money is so energy hungry, you have to understand how it works. Bitcoins are created as a reward for a process known as mining. While it doesn't involve hard hats, drilling, or explosives, mining Bitcoin is a hugely energy-intensive process that requires powerful software. Miners are like accountants who guarantee the security of the system by solving complex math problems. With time, these become increasingly complex and require more and more computers.
In a way, the complexity of all these calculations carried out by the machines is what guarantees the security of the system and protects it from ill-intentioned users. Each transaction requires major computer calculations, so in a way it's not sustainable because of this massive use of energy.
All these mining operations are organized into what's known as farms, expansive warehouses hosting tens of thousands of power-hungry machines all running at the same time. As a result, the largest digital farms are springing up in locations where energy costs are low, places like China.
Electricity is very cheap in China, and especially coal electricity is very cheap in China. So that's pretty much the worst kind of electricity you can put into a network.
Now, if you're wondering about its carbon footprint, well, when one of the world's largest Bitcoin farms opened its doors to journalists last year in China, analysts estimated it was emitting carbon dioxide at the same rate as a Boeing 747. Bitcoins are contributing to the warming of the atmosphere, and without really offering any major benefit to the public. That's because right now, most people use Bitcoins as a way to make money rather than as a form of cash. Sure, certain businesses accept the digital currency. Travel website Expedia, for example, lets you use Bitcoins for selected hotels. If you're planning a trip to space, well, Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic welcomes the virtual money. And if you happen to be in Buenos Aires, a handful of Subway restaurants are now Bitcoin friendly. It certainly is trendy, but truth is, not that many people actually use Bitcoin. Now, it's a little shrouded in mystery and hard to confirm, but an estimated 20 million people own Bitcoin, but only about 500,000 people are thought to actually use it. Pretty low compared to the hype. So what does the future hold for Bitcoin? And can it stop binging on energy?
Anytime the price of Bitcoin goes up,
this attracts new miners who say, hey, I would like to have this reward for myself. And this fuels the competition between miners, and you have more miners, and they spend more energy, and they buy bigger computers, etc. In China, they do not have too much electricity. The domestic demand is increasing all the time, and therefore it is obvious that the Chinese government is concerned. Now, in some other places where you have abundant supply of electricity, for example, in Canada or in Iceland or whatever, then there is a future for Bitcoin mining.
Bitcoin is one of over 1,300 digital currencies. Some of its competitors, such as Ethereum, have found more energy-efficient ways of functioning. Will Bitcoin follow this trend? It certainly would give a green twist to this modern gold rush.